talking about the Premier League, and it's interesting if you take a look at the European Notebook, and a comment from what Mark Ogden had to say within the article which was released, saying, sources have said that some players are increasingly antagonised by high-profile players voicing concerns from their pools at their holiday homes in the sun about safety issues when many players need and want to return in order to safeguard their careers and playing futures. Well, let's welcome Steve Nicol and Danny Higginbotham in to discuss this. You can take a look at a case in point, I suppose. Kun Aguero, for example, has voiced his fears about coming back. But in theory, he could retire tomorrow and be financially fine. We're talking about players who aren't in that situation. And Danny, you were kind of in that situation. Would it affect you, your choice about whether or not to come back?
No, because then what you're doing, you're looking at wealth before health. And I don't think it matters whether you're a player that's earning 2, 3, 4, 5 million a year, or whether you're someone that's earning a lot less. It really doesn't matter, because it can still affect those people. So I don't necessarily agree with the statements. You know, if players are saying that it's okay for certain individuals to say that because obviously they've earned a lot of money throughout their career. In my opinion, it has nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's not to do with the financial side of things, because like I say, no matter how much you earn, if you get back on that football pitch, you've got as much chance of getting it as whoever else is on that pitch with you. So I disagree with those statements.
Stevie, if you were playing today, how comfortable would you be about returning to action?
I would be comfortable if there were certain things in place that meant every avenue was put in place to not guarantee your safety, because you can never do that. But the level of safety would be my only concern. The money shouldn't be anybody's concern. The fact that anybody's talking about money tells you that maybe they've got some other agenda. So no, it's all about cutting down the percentages of somebody actually catching the virus, and probably more importantly for players, because players just want to play. I think if I'm a player, if I was still a player, my concern wouldn't be playing. My concern would be, do I take something back home? So regardless of the money situation, it has to be about how safety the environment you're put into is. And clearly you can never guarantee it. It will never be 100%. But I guess individuals will judge what the percentages are and make a decision from there.
I think one of the problems you also have is that one of the problems you also have is that if players now are saying, right, okay, you know, we've seen what's happened over recent weeks, especially with Bundesliga in Germany. You know, things are starting to look better for Germany as a country. Now, if you don't start the games up now, then basically what you're saying is that you're not going to start until there's a cure. Now, how long is it going to be until there's a cure? Is it going to be 1 year? Is it going to be 2 years, 3 years? We don't know. Nobody knows. So therefore, what you're saying is that there's going to be no football in that time. We all know that there is a certain risk within it. And like Stevie just quite rightly said, the biggest thing that I would be concerned about as a player is if I was to get it and actually then take it home to a family member. That would be the worst possible outcome for me.
Would you come back though, Danny?
I think if I knew what the stipulations were and I knew that there was very little chance of me getting it, then yeah, I think I would do. I think if you'd have asked me 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would have said no. But I think the way that things are going at the moment, like I say, specifically, we're looking at the Bundesliga and how things are being done there, the fact that Germany is getting a lot better now, I think that I probably would do. Because I think there's talk about having maybe 2 tests a week, something like that, and, you know, making sure that everybody's okay and being able to have the test. So that's the big thing. But I think there does come a point where you get to a point where you can only get as close as possible without actually having the cure to then go and carry on with the football.
And actually, you know, to me, this is Dan. This is where the players' union should be getting involved. You know, instead of making this about individuals. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, whether the union decides on one thing or not, an individual can just say, I'm not playing. But how about you take away the pressure of coming back or not coming back by involving the union? and then everybody is on the same page. There's a set of guidelines, there's a code of conduct, whatever you want to call it, and if they're met, then as a group, as a union, as a group of players, then you can go back. Again, that won't change an individual deciding, I'm just not going, but it would be a lot easier to take the pressure off, certainly the guys who are desperate for the money. Take that decision away from them, because they're not in a position, if they're so desperate for money, they're not in a good position to decide whether it's a good idea or not to go back and play.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.